Hi, it's me, Jacqueline. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and join me at Patreon. Link in the description. At the sight of Sandy's awards, an image flickered through Beth's mind. Sarah Brandt had wanted Sandy to start modeling, a few trunk shows, a flower child for the local bridal couture. But Beth thought Sandy too young, too innocent for anything that intense. She had only consented to Sandy appearing with Freddie in a few commercials and 2 music videos as background extras. Sarah kept telling her that the camera loved Sandy's face, his smile and eyes lit up so naturally in his portfolio photos. Maybe this September, after he was 6, starting with the Christmas ads, if it didn't disrupt his transition at Miss Fairchild's. But Miss Fairchild's did stress the arts for all the children. None of its graduates would be allowed to be shy wallflowers, uncertain and insecure when occasions called for them to appear before a group. With practice, even the most introverted child could calmly deliver a piece before an audience. The cases containing Sandy's guitar and autoharp stood in the corner. Terry Brooks had taught him well enough that Sandy could accompany himself for some songs. He liked the autoharp well enough that sometimes he would play even as he watched television. The wall that formed the back of Freddie's closet was bare except for posters pinned diagonally to the sheetrock. One was of Faith Hill, long brown curls flying around her face and body. Another was of Shania Twain, from I Feel Like a Woman, complete with top hat, face veil, jet choker, and attitude. He had picked them out himself, heroines for a Southern girl. Completing the set was a studio promo of Vivian Leigh as Scarlett in her mourning black. An adult-sized captain's chair sat before them. The jewel of the room was standing in front of his vanity, down to his panties, turning to see his reflection in the vanity mirror, using a hand mirror to view the long curls trailing down the back of his head. He smiled as he turned and patted the curls with his free hand. Loose, his hair fell to his hips. It gave Miss Jenny plenty to work with when she turned his hair into the thick banana curls he so loved to wear. His first salon set was for his 3rd birthday party, his formal introduction as Alexandra Michelle Brown, his new name part of the package of shedding shipwright from my identity. Wearing pretty dresses had tempered the tantrums of the terrible twos, so when Vicky suggested that Sandy join her Carol Sue in becoming a girl, a light went off in my head. In the 6 months since the divorce was final, Sandy's hair had grown out to 6 inches. Sandy had even seemed proud when little plastic bow barrettes caught his hair back out of his eyes, so maybe he would accept a real hairdo. A trial run of curlers, just till your hair dries, after a Saturday bath didn't produce a peep of protest. Unlike the trips to the barber to get his hair cut, he hadn't wailed at all in the chair, not even when Miss Jenny had cut in his bangs. He had sat up straight, taking everything in while Miss Jenny combed him out. He had been so proud to have a hairdo, just like Mommy when we left high style. 2 weeks after his birthday, back in the salon for the first of his weekly sets with me and Frederica, I had his lobes pierced. He had wanted to be able to wear earrings, just like Freddie, and I just couldn't tell him no. Sandy had lovely dusty pink areolas, with pert little nipples on his very flat, very pale chest. The sight of them brought back his question before the trip into the closet with petticoats to recover composure and think of an answer. Sweetheart, you want to come over here and sit by Mommy? Bring your powder so I can dust you. And let's get something on you before you catch your death. Okay. Sandy carefully laid the hand mirror on the dresser, picked up his box of dusting powder, and sashayed over to the foot of the bed, swiveling his hips with each crossover step, head held high and steady. What are you doing? Practicing my pageant walk. Miss Talent says I should do it every day so it feels natural when I parade. Well, yes, but try doing it dressed, not almost naked. Let me dust you down. Sandy raised his arms out, hands cocked back to his shoulders. Beth pulled out the powder puff, dusting him lightly, throat, body, underarms, before putting the top back on the box. Here, put this on. Beth held out an ivory trinket half-slip. Okay. Sandy stood still, arms up, waiting for his mother to slide the smooth material down his hairless torso. Sandy? Sweetheart? Do you really want TP have breasts someday? Sandy's head emerged from the nylon. He shimmied, the slip falling into place. You're a girl, you know. So, well, girls don't just develop breasts. Ceelies are growing. Well, there will come a time, if you really want them, I can take you to see mommy's gynecologist, Dr. Tompkins, and she can help you develop breasts. But only if you really want them, want to always be a girl, then a Coleman, a bride, and a wife. Could you take me for my birthday? Beth bent her face close to Sandy's. It's a big step. You'll have to be older for that. Okay. Sandy pointed to the bed. Will you help me put on my playsuit? Okay. Beth half turned, pulled the yellow playsuit to her. Mommy? Yes, sweetheart. Then can I get my nose pierced? Carol Sue is getting his pierced before school starts. Why, yes, you can. You'll need to wear a ring at Miss Fairchild's. So if it won't spoil the surprise too much, I'll let you in on a little secret. What is it? One of your birthday presents is your first nose ring. I had planned on having your nose pierced at our weekly set the next day. Sandy threw his arms around Beth's neck. Oh, thank you, Mommy. I'll be so grown up. Not too fast, sweetheart. After all, you're still your mommy's darling. No, Mommy, not too fast. Tell you what. How would you like your party to extend past Friday? How would you like for Carol Sue to come with us to High Style so he can have his nose pierced with you? Afterwards, we can go to the mall and buy you something special for your new school. And maybe he could sleep over. Sandy hugged Beth tightly. Oh, would you, Mommy? Could we? And if I'm real good, can I get my ears pierced too? Hoops and studs look so nice now. Yes, sweetheart. Hoops and studs would look nice under a fresh set of your curls. Thank you, Mommy. You're the best mommy in the whole wide world. Beth wasn't sure Alex would have agreed, but then he hadn't actually seen the children since she had moved back to Haraton and he had been transferred to Dayton. If it weren't for email, the children would not have had any contact with him at all, which would have been just fine with Beth. So far, she had managed to keep Sandy from sending him any candid shots. An annual photo with Sandy's hair pulled back so as not to show its length seemed to be sufficient, especially now that he had produced a new set of offspring. Now then, into your playsuit. Arms up. Sandy stood there waiting for the crisp folds to fall over him. In no time, he was settling the smooth material around his legs, cinching the little yellow tie tight. Even with the corset off, he had a little nip of a waistline. Okay, shoes on, then you can go downstairs and watch cartoons. Better yet, read a storybook. Or, even better, play a game with Frederica. I don't think she wants to play with me right now. I don't think she liked it when I won this afternoon. Oh, I'm sure she didn't mind. Much. Just play nicely. I have to change, and I may lie down for a bit before I fix supper. Is soup and crackers all right? Pudding for dessert? That's fine, Mommy. I'm not really hungry. Not yet. Give it a couple of hours. At least the teenage vacuum hasn't started up. Then I'll be down in an hour or so. Give me sugar. Sandy kissed his mother's cheek, dug out his sneakers from under the bed, and was headed for the door without another word. Before he left, he paused before the mirror, turned, checked himself in the back, plumped his stiff curls. He grinned in the mirror, pleased with what he saw, and was gone in a flash. Beth sighed, leveraged herself off the bed, picked up the powder box, walked slowly toward the vanity. She couldn't help noticing her reflection in the mirror. Strawberry blonde hair done up in a French roll with a curl dangling down the seam, a trim figure with pert breasts, displayed by a scoop bust peach and white pinch waist dress that ended just below her knees. If she did say so herself, she had nice calves, smooth, with a strong muscle line, and trim ankles that showed well in white, open-toed sandals with 2-inch heels. If she just weren't so busy with her business and family, she shouldn't have trouble finding a male to caress and cuddle. That and she never had enjoyed the meat market of one-night stands. She was more than woman enough to prefer someone steady beside her. She would just have to pick better next time, someone reliably supportive, rather than someone trying to prove he was still a man, married or no. Well, there were slight bags under the eyes, the result of too many tasks and too little Elizabeth. Angela is a dear. Maybe I should add some more of his days to the schedule. Then there is June. Could I lay off more of the work at Cumberland Tours on him? Perhaps the pricing on the repeat tours? He is already helping at the marketing presentations. I need someone to compose brochures and catalogs. Perhaps I will just have to break down and hire another someone full-time. Perhaps one of the tour guides? If I could just find the time to decide what that person would do. Beth ran her hands down, smoothing the material over her waist. Time for me to get out of my girdle, relax a little. I can think about it while I fix supper, Sandy sang as she skipped toward the staircase. I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. He skipped at the thought of getting a nose ring for his birthday Friday week. And he and Carol Sue would get their noses pierced the day after. They would be so grown up, real girls, wearing girl jewelry. I wonder if Mommy is giving me a seahorse pin? Like Miss Taylor gave Carol Sue? Wouldn't that make Linda green since she can't wear one? Sandy didn't even glance at the doors of Freddie's room or Beth's suite across the hall. He focused on how nice it felt for material to swirl about his legs, on which book he would read, on whether he should go back for his autoharp. He yawned. Curling up under a caftan on the couch in the rec room would be nice. He had missed his nap, and a little beauty sleep would be nice. By the time Sandy had reached the landing, Beth had slipped out of Sandy's room, headed for her suite. Freddie could be depended on to change herself, to amuse herself in the recreation room until supper was ready. And most importantly, not to tease her brother. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access.